Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Gift of Gab, where we are coming to you with good talk from the green chair. I am your host, Gab, and happy February, y'all. Happy Black History Month. I hope y'all are still being intentional about the goals that you set for yourself earlier this year. I hope you are showing up for yourself. I hope when you need to give yourself grace, you are giving yourself grace. And when you need to push yourself a little bit harder, I hope you are doing that too. So today's episode is called You Are Your Best Thing, a Love Letter. And before I dive into the episode, I just want to send a huge shout out to friends and family who participated in this episode. I just want to tell you that I love you. I appreciate you. I cannot thank you enough for just allowing me to be a part of your journey, to share your vulnerability, and for you to trust me with the matters of your heart. I never take that for granted, and I really, really, really appreciate y'all for just being a part of this for me. So today's episode is called You Are Your Best Thing, a Love Letter. If you know me, you know I love Toni Morrison. Like, I feel like Toni Morrison is like my spiritual godmother. That's a whole nother thing, but I love Toni Morrison. And one of my favorite quotes of hers is, you are your best thing, because you are in fact your best thing. And there was a time in life that I didn't know that I was my best thing. I didn't know that I had anything in me to offer to the world, and not just the world, but to myself. I didn't know that me all this time was the best thing I could offer me. I could offer another person. I could offer the world. I didn't know that. I didn't feel that. I didn't see that. I didn't understand that. And now, you know, that I'm continuing on this journey in life, I do understand that the best thing you can do for anything, for anybody, for yourself, is to be exactly who you are. But as long as you are showing up as your true and authentic self in that moment, that's what matters. And who you are, what you are, is enough. It's absolutely enough. And that's the best thing you can offer yourself, you can offer to the people around you. Sorry, I had a little moment there, y'all. So I reached out to my friends and my family, and I asked them to write a letter to their younger selves. And I did that because I wanted to know what they would say to themselves. I wanted to know how they felt, you know, talking to their younger selves. I wanted to know, what do they think about themselves then and now? And from the purest place, right? Because the people, the ladies who partook in this activity, I think they're some of the greatest gifts that God has blessed me with. I always say, like, you know, it shows how much God loves me that he will let me be a part of these people's journey. And I just, you know, I wanted to see it, if they saw themselves the way that I see. Tell you, it was an absolute beautiful thing to see, to read those ladies honoring themselves, and showing up for themselves and challenging themselves and giving themselves grace and expressing how far they've come, but giving themselves like what they need to know that they still have so much further to go. It was a really beautiful thing. And I read each and every one of these ladies' letters, and each one just made my heart just smile just a little bit more. The common themes, and my letter is included in this, some of the common themes that I saw in the letters were, you know, how we addressed that our younger selves were seeking a place in the world. We were trying to figure out, what did we have to offer the world? What did the world have to offer us? Like, why are we here? What are we doing here? And we all, in some shape, form, or fashion, we highlighted that younger us were looking for our space in the world. Another common theme was that our older selves expressed to our younger selves that the place we are in right now, we recognize that the place we were in then It's exactly where we needed to be. We needed to be young and trying to figure it out and trying to understand and working at being who we have become and who we still have yet to be. Hey, we gave ourselves permission, right? And y'all know I talk a lot about grace. We gave ourselves a lot of grace to understand that we didn't have it figured out, that there's a lot we are still trying to figure out. We gave ourselves grace to understand that we were doing the best we could do with the things that we had in front of us. Now, I don't know what age, the ladies were writing to themselves in or at, but, it doesn't matter what age they were writing to themselves. It could have been adolescent them, teen them, young adult them, but we all expressed that we needed grace to give ourselves grace to get past the moment that we were in, and understand that there was something in that moment we had to learn that would help us later on in life. Another big thing was we spoke very lovingly to ourselves. Not one of the ladies, including myself, bashed ourselves. Not one of us expressed anger to our younger selves. We spoke so lovingly, and I loved that, right? Because it just shows that, like, we understand that we needed to give ourselves the love that we desired in that moment. And that's not to say people around us weren't giving it to us. It's just that we needed this moment to check in and give it to ourselves. And all of the ladies did just that. As I mentioned, one of the things that we had in common as well is that we all celebrated how far we have come, and we are celebrating how much further we know we have left to go. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. Like, every lady highlighted that they know that the journey continues, that there's still so much stretching and so much learning and so much achieving that we have left in us. And we are just proud to be able to show up for ourselves in that way and say, this isn't the end of the line for you. You've got more. You got these great big beautiful wings that you have, and you think that, like, just flying around here is just gonna be it. Sis, you still got a lot of flying, a lot of world to explore. That too was a beautiful thing. I want to share some of my favorite lines from the letters that I read. These are just, I loved the letters in, as they were their whole letter, but these are just some of the lines from each of the ladies' letters that really, really just spoke to my heart, just jumped out to me. One of them said, "You will fall in love and get your heart broken multiple times, but that doesn't mean you're not worthy of love." Like, girl, they gonna try you up and down. And not just love. We always try to think about love in the sense of, like, a relationship with the opposite sex, like, a romantic relationship. But how many of us have had our hearts broken by our parents? How many of us have had our hearts broken by friends that, we thought we were gonna ride out with for the rest of our lives? So when I read that line, I thought of all the ways that we've had our heart broken, right? That we've let ourselves down, and when this young lady said to herself, like, but you're still worthy. You're still worthy. No matter how bad that felt, you're still worthy. That felt very good to read. Another one says, "Please know that you're enough. You always will be." What else can you say about that? You are enough. You are your best thing. And you always will be. No matter what happens, no matter what comes your way, no matter who doubts you, no matter who comes and who goes, you will always be enough. And another said, "Each day you're learning something new about you. Each day you're choosing to love yourself a little more. That right there just, that told me like every day you gotta give yourself some space every day, because you're gonna have to learn to love yourself a little bit more, a little bit differently in each season of your life. One of the other ladies said, still blossom. I mean, that's powerful. Still blossom. No matter what, no matter who, no matter how. Blossom. Grow. Keep going. Still blossom. Another one says, there's been purpose to all of this. You find strength in being vulnerable. That's just beautiful. There's purpose behind everything and anything that you're facing. There's purpose. The last one says, I give you permission to be all the things. Afraid, brave, bold, shy, wild, smart, silly, soft, but most of all, full of love. That's what I think a lot of us needed. We needed to know that we had permission to be all of the things. So if you need that today, you got my permission. You have my permission to be all of the things. Be your best thing. Show up for yourself. Some of the benefits of writing this letter, at least that I saw for myself, was that I gave little me permission to heal in places that were still showing up in grown up me. I gave little me a voice in spaces that younger Gabby didn't think she had a voice in. And when I revisit this letter, I realized that I gave myself a space to land softly when I'm feeling like I have not done enough. When I'm feeling like this needs to hurry up. This part of life needs to come faster. That part of life needs to come faster. I've revisited the letter a few times, and each time when I'm just in a space with myself, I see that, this is the landing I need in that moment to tell me that it'll come. You will do it. You're where you need to be. But keep going. Because you'll get where you need to be in the future as well. But right now, be gentle with yourself. And give yourself permission to keep going, to rest, to know when to stick to the plan, but change the way you are going or stick to the goal, but change the way that you are trying to reach the goal. That's okay. That is absolutely okay. And some of the things that when I talked to the ladies, they expressed that, like me, they cried when they wrote this, because it was just so many feelings that you deal with in talking to little you, younger you, teen you, 5 years ago you. 35-year-old Gabby, I'm sure, would talk to 30-year-old Gabby and give her permission to do some things as well, right? Differently. And it is just, y'all, it was just one of the most beautiful things I could have done for myself. And I know that the ladies feel the same way. And again, I cannot thank them enough for just trusting me with this information, trusting me with the matters of their heart, and being vulnerable enough to share this with the world. It was truly a great experience, and I would challenge any one of you watching this, male or female, I would challenge you to do the same. You don't need a lot. You just need pen and paper. I recommend writing it to yourself, right? Because we get so caught up in electronics and being on a computer or something. But I always feel like when you slow down to actually write something, pen to paper, pencil to paper, what have you, that really helps in manifestation. And that really helps to be more genuine with yourself and what you're feeling. And you kind of can just kind of go off. So I really recommend pen and paper, pencil and paper, whatever you want to use. But I recommend definitely not typing this out on your phone or sitting at a computer. Get some pen and paper. Take some time. Get in a quiet spot. Set a whole vibe, a whole mood for yourself. And before you write, breathe. Take a few deep breaths. Think about an age, a time in life that you needed something or someone, and write to that person. Write to you at that age. Write to you in that moment. And keep it. Keep the letter. Reread it often so that you can see how far you've come and that you can keep showing up for yourself. You will be giving yourself the things you need to say, okay, I can move forward. I gave that age, that stage of me what it needed, so now I can move to the next stage. I can't stress enough to you how very challenging but worth it was to write that letter. So as always, y'all, I'd like to hear back from you. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this episode. Let me know about the letter that you wrote to yourself. Let me know how you felt before, during, and after. I would like to hear from you. And as always, I am your host, Gab. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I love you.